For almost 30 years, Voller Law Firm has been winning serious injury and death cases for clients. They have collected millions of dollars on behalf of their clients and belong to the prestigious $1 Million Advocates Forum. When insurance or a wrongdoer won't pay for what they took from you, go with an award-winning firm with a track record of results. At Voller Law Firm, results matter. Make sure you go with lawyers that have the experience, ability, and financial power to hold those that hurt you accountable. Put your trust in Voller Law Firm. Give them a call at 662-323-0083.
You're listening to Thunder and Lightning on SuperTalk Mississippi, covering Mississippi State sports like nobody else. With Sports Talk Mississippi's Brian Haydad and Robbie Falk of On3 Sports. Now get ready for Thunder and Lightning.
This is Thunder and Lightning here on Super Talk Mississippi. Brian Haydad and Robbie Falk here with you on a Wednesday morning. Thanks for joining us here at supertalk.fm or wherever it is you get podcasts from. We appreciate you guys out there, our great listeners, especially our servicemen and women out there taking care of us. Want to thank our sponsors over at Strange Brew Coffee House and Churn and Spoon Ice Cream. Start your day the right way with a trip to the drive-thru over at Strange Brew Coffee House here in Starkville or at Brupolo over in Tupelo. Be a little weird, Robbie, if Brupolo was in Hopewell, but not the Hopewell that's in Benton County, or in Copiah County, or in Covington County, or in Marion County. We're talking about the Hopewell that's in Clay County.
Thank you for that clarification.
That's why I want to be sure what we're talking about. But either way, it would.
That would be really weird.
There you go.
Wouldn't be that far down the road, but it's still a little weird.
Yeah, it would be a little weird. Wherever you are in our great state, you can enjoy Strange Brew Coffee each and every morning. It's just a click away at strangebrewcoffeehouse.com. The Mississippi Beef Council wants to remind you that beef, it is what's for dinner. Sad news to report here, Robbie. I got an email yesterday at like 10 in the morning from our friend Andy at the Mississippi Beef Council inviting us to go eat steaks with the team. But I didn't see it until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
And here I was on Twitter yesterday kind of condemning them a little bit for not inviting us.
No, they did, but it was too late by the time I saw the invitation. So I got to get Andy my cell number. Just text me next time. I would have come and gotten a steak. That being said, it looked like the Bulldogs ate great yesterday. You can eat great any day of the week. Just head by your local grocery store, your local butcher shops, and pick up some beef today. Beef, it's what's for dinner. Thanks to our friends at the Mississippi Beef Council. They are still our friends at the Mississippi Beef Council, Robbie.
They're absolutely our friends because they're producing great beef.
Great beef. College Corner, collegecornerstore.com. That's the place to find the maroon and white merchandise that you are looking for. You're looking for MSU gear. You're looking for the interlocking. They've got plenty of it. Polos, hoodies, T-shirts, hats. It's all right there for you at College Corner. 2 locations in the Jackson area, Ridgeland by Fleet Feet, Floyd by the Half Shell, or you can shop online at collegecornerstore.com. Restaurant Tyler, Starkville's flagship restaurant for lunch, dinner, or Sunday brunch. Best meal in town is always at Restaurant Tyler. We're getting close to the start of the football season, which means you're going to be here on these weekends in Starkville. Make sure you got time to make a great dinner at Restaurant Tyler. Looking ahead, first home game, weekend of the 6th, so September 5th, Friday night here in Starkville. Great time to go get a steak, go get a great meal at Restaurant Tyler. Of course, if you can't make it on a Friday night, you can always make it on a Sunday morning and get Sunday afternoon brunch at Restaurant Tyler. These are both great options. If you want to eat good in Starkville, it's easy to do it. Just head over to Restaurant Tyler. Priority One Bank, 16 locations here to serve you throughout central Mississippi. Let PriorityOneBank.com be your guide and show you not only how they're going to help you invest and manage your money, but how they're going to help you prepare for the future. Now more than ever, when you have questions about your money and you need answers, you need to talk to somebody who knows you the way they know your money, somebody who has a personal relationship with you, not just a professional one. You need a banker who provides a level of service you're only going to get at Priority One Bank. Let Priority One Bank make you their priority.
Brian, before we start this, I would like to make an announcement real quick.
By all means.
I am claiming a national championship for myself. I decided that I won the national championship the year I was born in 1989. Robbie Falk, national champion.
Okay, so that's that. So Miami claims the AP and UPI national championships this year, but you're saying the FI, the Falk Index.
I had someone, my father and mother, actually, they both claimed the national championship for me. So that counts.
I mean, Brother Rob would never lie.
No, he's a pastor.
He's a pastor, so I guess, yeah.
He said on that day, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very important announcement to make. My son is a national champion.
I will.
That was it.
I'll get a banner commissioned.
You know what that is? Auburn has claimed, by the way, what five, six
More.
national championships
Yeah.
today?
Yeah.
What? So you know what that is, right? That
It's too.
they don't think that this is going
They're
to turn out well with Hugh
they're
Freeze.
nervous. They're
We
nervous.
got a retired number from Cam Newton and 4 claimed national championships in 24 hours.
In the last week at Auburn, we have gotten Hugh Freeze only calls plays on second down because Ken Austin does it on third down and Derek Nix does it on first down. You have Hugh Freeze saying all 3 quarterbacks may play against Baylor. That's
which is a terrible sign 2 weeks out.
And then today, Auburn out of nowhere decides, hey, we're claiming 5 more national. John Cohen. Also, if you like to make fun of John Cohen, in the last 48 hours, John Cohen has had to sit there with a straight face and say they're going to claim 5 national titles or whatever it is, including one that happened while they were on probation. I'd like to point that out, the 93 national title. But also, John Cohen, Mississippi State alum, had to call Cam Newton and tell him, we're going to retire your number.
And also is the boss of Hugh Freeze, who
is doing
I guarantee at some point in time when he was at Mississippi State did not have some nice things to say about Hugh Freeze. Maybe he's going through hell right now. I don't know. But this has got to be the weirdest few years of his existence.
It's really funny. But yes, we claim national titles wherever you want.
I have a feeling this is going to be fun. This is going to be really fun to watch.
You know what's funny about that is that, for years they've made fun of Alabama for claiming national
titles. Yeah.
Like you and I make fun of Ole Miss all the time about that 2003 SEC West championship banner that they've had up, right? This is 10 times worse. Like Alabama claims an egregious amount of national titles, and everybody around the country has given them crap for it. Auburn is leading the charge on that, and now they're just out of nowhere saying, oh, we've got some national titles too.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Bama, they legitimately ruled college football for well over 2 decades.
Yeah.
So their program has the clout to do it. And Auburn has a very good program, but they're still not in the same realm as Alabama. They're claiming national titles now from the early 1900s.
Yeah.
And then here's the problem I have. I think we all can agree that Auburn probably should have been the national champion in 2004. I remember watching that team. They were ungodly. They were very good. They should have been the national champion, but they weren't, and they played a national championship game.
Yeah.
I have a problem when you claim a national championship when there's an actual game.
I mean, you're preaching to the choir. I'm with you.
That's why we talk about the Ole Miss thing. Like the Ole Miss SEC West championship is stupid because there was a game played with an SEC West champion.
Correct.
You can't claim that.
Right.
Now, if you want to go back to 1935 and we've always joked about, not even joked, we've talked about Mississippi State should probably be the national champion in they have a better case than Alabama does in 1941 of winning a national championship. They lost to Duquesne, which is an abomination, and they shouldn't have lost
a power. Don't talk bad about the Dukes like
they did, but that's the fact that they beat Alabama that year and they lost to Duquesne is kind of, it sucks.
It is, yeah.
But State finished 16th, I think, in the AP poll in 1941. So they don't really have a case to claim a national championship.
Agreed.
But I don't like retroactively claiming championships.
It's great for us, though. We get to make fun of it.
That's true. So. We make fun of a lot of things about Auburn, and they'll turn around and say, why are you making fun of us when you're one of the worst programs in the SEC?
And we'll say, because of that.
Exactly. What else do we have to do?
Hey, look, if a rich guy is walking down the street and he trips on his own 2 feet and falls bum over tea kettle, and a homeless guy wants to laugh at him, he has that right. It's funny when it happens. So
it's the video I posted last year, right after Ole Miss lost to whoever it was, Kentucky, whoever it was. It's a mad, mad, mad world. Whenever they're all sitting up in the hospital,
and they're all just cracking up.
Ethel Merman comes in and falls. We can still laugh about it, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
We're not exempt from laughter.
Yeah, it's the best medicine, they say.
That does have to be miserable though for Auburn. Like you do have the money, you do have the resources, but you're in the same state as Alabama.
Alabama. Like who has it
So
worse, Texas A&M or Auburn?
I think it's A&M
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
because A&M hasn't won anything.
At least Auburn's had a
Auburn
couple
has
national
national
titles and
championships.
has had some moments. Yeah, I agree. All right.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the rumblings. The rumblings are brought to you by the good people over at Paul Davis Restoration. Paul Davis Restoration here to help you recover from water, fire, mold, or storm damage 24/7. They are also the official damage restoration company of Mississippi State University. Now, I looked into some sources there, and I don't know if they could have helped last year with State's defense, but other disasters, they could be there for Mississippi State. So if there's something going on at Davis Wade or at the Hump where they're like, hey, we've got some water damage, some mold damage, Paul Davis Restoration is who Mississippi State's University is going to call. That should be who you call as well. Any kind of damage to your home, not only are you going to get that damage taken care of, you're going to get a better looking space than ever with the Paul Davis Restoration Property Improvement Services. 662-769-7285 is the number. If you're in Starkville, if you're in the Golden Triangle, if you're in the Tupelo area, call Paul Davis Restoration. Let them bring your property back to life. Let's jump in. Our first one for the day. Willie Dizzle asked us, which is more annoying when visiting a restaurant? Only having the QR code menus or only having a blower to dry your hands? It is not close for me that the answer is not having paper towels in the bathroom. I can't stand.
You don't mind the QR code thing.
I'm an old man, but I've gotten used to it. I can deal with the QR code menu at this point. I'm okay with it. I hate a hand dryer like that. I want to be able to dry my hands with towels.
What's worse is there's no paper towels and you don't have a hand dryer. That's just laziness. That's the worst.
That's just laziness on the part of the employees.
Yeah, it is. It's a minor inconvenience to the QR code, but I already have my phone out anyways. Usually, I like the physical menu, but it's just that's not that big of a deal.
I'm cool. Yeah.
The blow dryer that's another minor inconvenience, but it's because it never truly gets your hands dry.
Oh, you end up having to wipe your hands on your pants. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. It'll get a little bit of it off, but it doesn't ever
it's
truly
one of the worst
get
inventions of the 20th century, in my opinion. I'm not a big fan.
It's not great, but they're trying to save the trees and all that stuff. So
yeah. All right, we got kind of a serious question here from Winston. Thursday afternoon, my stepfather was found unresponsive in his bedroom by my sister at the age of 55. Gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Funeral services will be is today as it happening.
Massive.
Yes, he's a massive Mississippi State fan, and one of the major reasons myself and the rest of my family are Mississippi State fans. The first Egg Bowl I ever got to experience in person was the urination simulation. Man, what a time we had. My question this week is, what are some of the favorite memories you two have had with your dads? That's a very tough one. First off, my condolences to you and your family for the loss of your stepfather. My dad passed away in 2012. He's been gone, 13 years now. It doesn't feel like it's been that long. My dad and I, a lot of our bonding as it would have been around sports. And I remember the first game we went to. We did not see Mississippi State win a game in person from the first game I went to in 1981 until 1990. We would go to the games in Jackson. We never saw State win. When they did win, we weren't there. So the first game I ever went to, it was for the longest time the highest attended game in the state of Mississippi. Mississippi State, Southern Mississippi in 1981. State lost 7-6. Southern didn't cross midfield in that game, and yet State still lost it. Very typical Mississippi State loss. I should have known something was up then. We went to a lot of Egg Bowls together. The first game we saw State win together was 1990, Mississippi State versus LSU in Jackson. State got out to a 31-3 lead and ended up winning 34-22. When it was 31-3, Albert Williams with a 51-yard touchdown interception return, I thought he was going to have a heart attack. He's like, I can't believe we're kicking their ass this bad. This is great.
You savor every moment in that situation.
So great. Those are ones, but obviously professional wrestling as well. My dad and I remember the first card we went to was at the Vicksburg Municipal Auditorium. The main event was Terry Taylor versus Jake the Snake Roberts for Mid-South Wrestling.
Red Rooster.
He was just Terry Taylor then. I got Terry Taylor and the Rock and Roll Express's autographs that day.
Do you know where that is?
I don't. I wish I did. I don't. I still have the. So Emily went to a con and the Rock and Roll Express were there, so she got their autographs. So I have the Rock and Roll Express's autographs in my house right now, but I don't have the original ones. Um, but we saw Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Ted DiBiase wrestle. We saw Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Michael Hayes, Lex Luger. Whenever they would come to Vicksburg, we would do that. I remember sitting at his house, listening to the clock radio as Jim Ellis described Burke Masters' grand slam, and he and I just jumping up and down in the living room and going crazy. So most of my great memories about my dad revolve around sports and professional wrestling, which is it's just fine by me because it was two things he really loved. So those are mine.
So this is a question just about any
Yeah, what's
memories?
your favorite memory with you and your dad?
Oh, I thought it was just Mississippi State memories.
No, no,
Um,
what are your favorite memories?
I think the number one for me was actually, I think it was today, 4 years ago. I um I had gotten together this trip for me and my dad to go to Pittsburgh,
Oh yeah,
and
I remember
so
that. Yeah.
I wrote out like a little letter to him,
Mhm.
had him read it, and I videoed it, all that stuff, and surprised him with tickets to go to
Really
Pittsburgh.
cool. Yeah.
And I had the plane tickets and everything. And we got the trip set up. We went. It was a weekend that I think State had a bye week.
Hmm.
It was the weekend that Texas A&M beat Alabama. But anyways, that trip, the whole trip was just incredible. We had always talked about wanting to go to Pittsburgh and watch the Steelers. I am a Steelers fan because of my dad. He became a Steelers fan in the '70s, and I was just brought up in it, and I've loved him ever since. So doing that was really awesome. And then just like over the years, like anytime, my friends would come over when I was a kid,
Hmm.
my dad, when we would go swimming, he would do the big show choke slams. And we would all run into the choke slams and he would choke slam us in the water.
That's
At the
awesome.
time it was the giant when he was the
Yeah, yeah,
giant.
yeah.
But
Right.
those were always fun. Like me and
That's
my
funny.
buddies like jumping off the diving board into it
Yeah,
and he'd catch us in the air with a choke slam.
that's good.
We loved that, man.
Good stuff. I always remember my dad would stand so at St. Aud when you would our locker room was across the street in the basketball gym from the football stadium. So you would have to when we were ready to go over for the game, you'd walk across the street and walk into the stadium. My dad would always stand by the gate where we would walk through, and he would give me the point as I walked in, and I would always see him and give him the point back. And it's funny the things that you remember sometimes. So sorry about
Yep,
your stepfather, Winston. I hope he sounds like a really good man, and like I said, we give you our condolences.
100%.
Yeah. Steve Keaton, we're going to get a little happier here. What is the most underrated vacation destination you've ever experienced? Underrated. Ooh. I had a really good time 2 years ago in Denver. And, you go, it's not that hot. Like we went in March, there was still snow on the ground the first day we got there. But like you walking around during the day, you could wear shorts. It was fine. Now it get chilly at night. It would get down in the 40s, but the weather was nice. There's a lot of cool stuff to do. There's a lot of great restaurants. It's relatively clean. I thought it was fantastic. So I'm going to say Denver.
Mine's Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved Pittsburgh, man. Clean city, kind of easy to walk around once you get to downtown. Um, they have the lift that takes you up into up the hill there where you can overlook the city. It was awesome. Food was really good. So that was mine for sure.
All right.
And I got to watch Steelers.
What's the most overrated? I am not a beach person at all. So I've been to 30A a few times. It's just not for me. That to me is the easy answer.
I don't like the beach either.
All right.
Pensacola is that was always when we go to Pensacola or like Gulf Shores. Like I didn't like it. Which I know that's not the destination beach that you go to, but that's the trips that we would take, and I just was not a fan.
Yeah. And then what is your favorite or what is the best vacation you've ever been on? This last trip to Chicago was really good, but I think the first real family vacation that I enjoyed I'm gonna do two separate ones. The family vacation. We went to New Orleans in 2019, and I just love New Orleans, the food and everything else. We had a great time, saw a lot of cool stuff. That's probably my favorite family vacation. For me and the guys, I went to Vegas in 2013, and that was just an awesome, just an incredible trip. I'll never, first night, I won't go into all the details, but we stumbled into the hotel about like 5:30 in the morning, and we were back up at 9. They just pumped that room full of oxygen, man. You're good to go. Three and a
Oh
half
yeah,
sleep, no problem.
yeah. You don't sleep.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, ate incredible meals out there, gambled, had a good time, saw some cool stuff. Yeah, that first trip, it was my second trip to Vegas, but that was my first real guys trip there. That was the one.
I really enjoyed Vegas too. My favorite family vacation was in the middle of COVID, and I had always wanted to go to the mountains, like with the whole family, book a big cabin and have the whole family. So we did that, and we went to Gatlinburg. We had a cabin that was three-story cabin. Both of my sisters' families were there. My mom and dad, my grandmother went with us. We had Natty. I think she was about a year and a half or so,
Mhm.
maybe 2 years, and we had a blast. Went to Dollywood and rode
Yeah.
all the rides there. The crowd was like super slim because it was during COVID,
Hmm.
so we just went like through the lines, like no waiting at all. And that trip was awesome. That was the last like real big family vacation we had, and our family's just not quite the same as it was at that point. So I always remember that one because it'll never be the same
Yeah.
since that.
Yeah.
So that was easily my favorite. I left that. We actually stayed, I think, another night with my sister's family. My parents went back, and I think my oldest sister might have gone back. We stayed an extra night just because we didn't want it to end.
Yeah.
Like it was awesome. So I always look back on that one because, like I said, it's not going to be the same. And then we always went to Disney World. I always loved going to Disney World with the family.
Ah, no, I did
Um,
not enjoy that. That might actually be more overrated for me. Just for me. I know
that probably is, that
the
probably
rest of
is
my
for you.
family had a good time. They did.
Yeah,
I did not. I did not. That was one where I was just like, I'm just along for the ride here.
I have not been to Disney World since like 2021.
See,
So it's been a few years.
what sucks for you? It doesn't suck, I guess, but because it's going to be super expensive when you go again. But like, you need to wait like 3, 4 years for Lady to be like 4 or 5, so she can have some memory of it. Which sucks for
Yeah,
Maddie because she won't get to go till she's like 10. But it is what it is. There.
yeah. I don't think Natty remembers. We
Yeah,
took her at
no
2,
way. Yeah, there's no way she remembers it. Yeah.
and that they were like telling her to pull her mask up. I'm like, hey, this girl's 2 years old.
Yeah, why don't you
I
try?
can't, like, I cannot. And she tried, like, she was trying to pull it up. Like, it was crazy that she even understood, like, what to do.
Yeah,
But I was like, I can't make this kid
yeah,
pull her mask up constantly.
yeah. It would
So
be
the
much
next day I
better
told
now.
Becky, I said, Becky, I'm about to prove a point at how ridiculous these rules are.
Yeah.
Because the rules were if you're 2 years old or over,
Hmm.
you had to wear the mask. I said,
Hmm.
I'm about to prove a point, and there's no way that they can do anything about it. So we walk into Disney World, and they go, how old's your daughter? I said, she is 1 week away from being 2 years old. Oh, okay. Well, happy early birthday. Y'all go in. And I
Yeah,
looked at Becky. I
exactly.
said, 1 week difference.
Yeah,
One
like
week difference
that's
is
the
going to
difference in this. Yeah,
exactly. So she didn't wear a mask the rest of the trip.
good call. Colby Rushing asks us, hypothetically, State goes 4-0 to start the season. What is their final record if they beat Tennessee and if they lose to Tennessee? If they are 4-0 and they beat Tennessee, they're going to win at least 7.
They're winning 7.
Yeah. If they lose to Tennessee, they're probably a 6-6 team at best. I think they would beat Arkansas, and I feel like they could win one more at that point.
Yeah, I think that's probably. I don't think it's gonna tell you too much. I think
Yeah.
it's different than maybe a win.
All right. So this next question is one of the craziest scenarios. Here we go. Bonus question: would you be okay with the home team on State's schedule winning every game this season? So in that scenario, State is 7-5. They beat Georgia, they beat Texas, they beat Ole Miss, and they beat Tennessee and Arizona State, but they lose to Southern Mississippi. They're 0-1. What is that week like for us after they lose to Southern? Now, first off, the answer to your question is yeah. You
Yeah, I'm
absolutely
taking that
take that.
100%.
That would be the. Can you imagine what that week would be like for us? They lose to Southern. We're like, guys, this is over. I mean, we are on here talking about like Jeff Lebby's career at Mississippi State is going to last 11 more games, and then the
I mean, you
next
talk
they
about
beat
like
Arizona
though
State.
you talk about weird circumstances. Like, okay, so you beat Arizona State, Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, and Ole Miss,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have the other
And
two as well.
and
You have Alcorn and Northern Illinois,
yeah. So that's your and we
but
missed
you lose to Arkansas. You
yeah
lose
Southern
to Southern Miss. I would
Florida.
take that in a heartbeat, but it'd be weird. Like you lost to Southern Miss,
Like,
but
can you
you beat
imagine
all
what
those.
that week would be like for us? Like, Southern fans we would not be able to be on Twitter. Like the
I would
USA
take
fans.
it though. I would
Oh,
take it all day,
but then you come
knowing.
back at the end, and you know what'd be funny at the end of the year is the Southern fans claiming state champions because they beat State, who beat Ole Miss.
Yeah.
That would be
But no,
incredible.
none of us would care
Yeah,
because at that point you would have beaten four playoff teams from last
you
year
probably beat
and
them
Ole
by
Miss to
one at
close the
least
year.
once. Yeah, like
So yeah, I,
that's
I would take that all day. I would take a loss to Southern
but
Miss
that
to
would
win
be
all
so
those
weird.
games.
That'd be the weirdest thing ever. All right, Brett Christensen, do you guys have any superstitions or routines that for covering the Bulldogs? I don't really. Uh, I don't. I don't.
No.
I don't. I just show up at the game.
I
So
used to like if I set a certain
yeah.
place like at home,
Oh
like
yeah,
if
at home, yeah, but that's not
but
covered.
on like at the games, no.
No. Who's a football opponent you'd like to see state schedule in the future, even if it's unrealistic? I mean, the answer is always going to be Notre Dame. One
Yeah,
at
to
home and
go
away
to
from
Notre Dame too.
that would be the one. So for me anyway. Ford Polk. Besides Dixon and Norwood, which Mississippi State players deserve to play on better teams? Omar Connor deserved to play on an offense. I've thought about this sometimes, right? Dan Mullen in 2004 is probably like probably like 33, something like that, maybe
He
30.
like Bowling Green.
He's in his second year, I guess, with Meyer at Utah. Utah is Meyer's leaving to go. Meyer the next year leaves to go to Florida, right? So 04, when State hires Kroom, what if they were just like, now this would have required a forward-thinking, innovative athletic director, which State didn't have at the time. What if they're like, look, yeah, Meyer's winning all these games, but that young guy behind him is the offense. He's the offensive guru. What if we took a chance there? And then I bring in Dan Mullen with Omar Connor and Jarius Norwood. What does that offense look like? I mean, Norwood deserved. I'm not Norwood. Connor deserved to have a coach who understood how to coach offense in the year 2004. He didn't have that.
Could Jimbo Fisher run an innovative offense
Yes.
back then?
Yeah. I mean,
That was a
his
guy that
offense
we
would have.
talked about a lot during that time.
Yeah. He was up for the job. I'm trying to think some other players who deserve to have,
We talked about
I'll
Big
give you-
Country the other day. Big Country and Mullins offense would have
yeah.
been nice.
Another one who I think was tough as nails, but man, offensive line was just not good. It was Kevin Fant.
Yeah.
Fant was talented. He could have, if he had a good line in front of him, they could have been some good teams. But
If Fant would have come a few years earlier, if he was late 90s,
if Fant's
that would
there
have been
for like
perfect.
98, 99, he was there in 99, but he's redshirting behind Madkin. Yeah, if he's like the quarterback for 98, 99, good, those teams they're better. So.
Yeah.
All right. If you had an opinion, I'm sorry, in your opinion, should donating to NIL or the Excellence Fund be a tax write-off? It's difficult to say because like when you donate to the Bulldog Club, technically you're donating to scholarships, right? This is not that. You're basically paying a salary. So I don't know how you make that a tax write-off, to be honest with you.
No, I don't. I don't really think that it should.
It shouldn't be a write-off.
And football, like these sports are just like there's a choice, like it's fun, like it's entertainment, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I don't think that makes much sense.
And then the other side of that is, at least with the State Excellence Fund, you do get the perks of donating like you do to the Bulldog Club. You get season ticket points and things of that nature. So that's not bad. Ryan Reynolds, the actor.
Green Lantern?
Yeah. What happens first? Tottenham winning the Premier League or MSU winning a football or basketball national championship? It's believe it or not, it is Mississippi State winning a national championship. Tottenham will not be winning a Premier League.
I don't know anything about
Just trust me on this one.
that. So
They haven't won one ever, and they're not ever going to. So, let's see here. Our buddy Steve Mormon. Has there ever been any coach in Mississippi State history in any sport that has been more destructive than Zach Arnett? I mean, you can't really say Kroom because he at least left Mullen some good pieces, right? Dixon was here. Derek Sherrod was here. A lot of that, some of that defense was here. So you can't say Kroom. Rick Ray?
yeah, that's up there.
You could make us a case for Ron Polk's second term.
That was pretty bad. That took 3 years to rebuild.
Yeah.
That's going to be up there for sure.
That's definitely one to mention. Also, enjoyed seeing you guys at Two Brothers. The wings and prime rib sandwich are great. The adult beverages were cold and numerous, and the interviews were great. Only thing missing, I left Indy empty-handed as the genteel polo I was promised was not forthcoming. Am I going to have to release the cotton police on you, Brian, to be made whole? Why didn't you come over? I'm in the middle of doing stuff. Come be like, hey, can I get a polo? There was no.
Y'all were just handing them out?
He's handing them out. There was no thing. I did make some people show that they were subscribed to Thunder and Lightning, which Steve easily could have done.
I had no idea this was happening, where they're just handing them out.
Yeah.
So. When do I get a handout?
You saw me ask Richard Graw. You saw it. You were standing right there. I was like, "Did you?"
I feel like this has been held over my head purposely. I feel like there's some collusion going on here. I don't know what's happening, but I feel like it's being told to me that I have this available, but I can't ever get it. I don't like where this is going. There goes Brian again, back to his phone, and he'll tell you, "This is important. This is important. This is important text," and it's just him in his group messages.
A friend of my wife's died.
No, you don't do that. Don't do that.
Screenshot.
Don't do that.
Robbie Falk.
He's lying.
I know you're on your phone to do this show, but delivered?
What is that background?
That's Facebook Messenger.
Oh, okay.
Her texts don't pick up at work for some reason. What does it say?
I'm being a professional and I'm paying attention to the show.
Anyway, but to answer your question, look, I'm going to get you a polo. All right, if I have to go up to I'll be in. You know what? Next Thursday, the 28th, we have a remote in Oxford. I'm going to reach out to Gentile myself and be like, can I come by and pick up a couple polos for Robbie Falk? I will handle this. If they say no, well, then now you know it's not. It's you.
I'm challenging you to handle this.
All right.
I'm putting you to the test. We will see. We will see how far our friendship goes.
There you go. All right.
And a couple. What am I? Chopped liver? Also need that. I need that interlocking.
Okay, now that's going to be difficult to pull off. I'll see what I can do.
How's that going to be difficult? You already did it.
Do what I can. All right.
Zach Selman got it, but one of your best friends can't get one of those.
I didn't have any control over that.
I'm starting to really see where I land on your priority list.
Stop. Just stop.
I'm just saying.
Stop.
I'm finding out a lot of things.
Stop.
I'm finding out a lot of things, concerning things.
Nathan Taylor asked us, hey, Dad, how would you do an ad read for a Baptist church? And he wants one for you for the Catholic church.
I don't know if I want to dig into this.
If I do that.
I don't know if I want to dig into this.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
There's a lot more. I'll say this: there's a lot more Baptists listening to this podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would definitely hear from some people if I did this. So,
hey, you can get free drinks at the Catholic Church, can't you?
You
on Mass,
you get your little shot of wine every Mass.
There you go. If you're looking for free drinks, it's not going to come with the Baptist Church. I can promise you that.
Do you hate?
That'll come after church. Whenever you see your friends at the store, that's when that happens.
Oh, when Catholics see each other at the store, they're like, "Hey, what's up? Good to see you."
When the Baptists do, they have to pull the hood further down.
You know what the thing for the Catholics is we get to lunch first on Sunday, right? You go to 9 a.m. service, you're out of there by 10:30. You got time to go home, put on some comfortable clothes, and still get to restaurant Tyler in time for brunch, man.
The Catholics and the Methodists are fighting over the
Oh yeah.
first of the buffet line.
You guys are only halfway through the service by the time we're eating dessert. All right.
I'm leaving Starkville usually, and my parents are coming into town. They come to Nukes every Sunday. My dad's done with church at like 12:30.
Yeah.
Like it's like 1 o'clock, and he's coming to town.
And you think about the NFL season. You're sitting there in the back row trying to check your fantasy team. I'm not dealing with that. I'm at home already. So.
I have set my lineup dozens of times in church.
A
I'm not
couple
even gonna
times
lie.
I went to
I don't
11:30
lie.
mass, and I have sat there and tracked the Saints while I was in
I mean,
there.
you got to.
Yeah,
I
sure.
watch. I've watched Steelers games in there. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Hey,
The Lord knows our heart.
that's right. Wade Jones asks, name 3 to 5 former college football players you thought were good, but didn't do much in the NFL, but place them in order. Manziel is number 1. Maybe the best college player that I ever saw that did really nothing in the NFL.
Yeah.
I put him up near the top.
Gosh, there's so many quarterbacks that were just great college
I can just do
quarterbacks.
quarterbacks. Yeah. Jamarcus Russell.
Jamarcus Russell's up
Could be
there.
on that list.
Tim Tebow is kind of there. I mean, I know he had some time there, but
yeah,
that's one of the greatest college football players of all time,
exactly.
and he was just okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could almost do one for every school in the SEC, for being honest. Like, Tim Couch wasn't a great pro, but a great college player. I feel like Pavia will be like that for Vanderbilt. I don't think he'll be a.
Oh yeah, he's not. No.
You think about at Alabama, Trent Richardson would actually be the guy I would pick.
Trent Richardson, man, like he just. Well, I think he had trouble like
the weight
with his weight. I think, and Eddie Lacy was kind of like that too.
Same way. LSU we already mentioned. A&M we mentioned. Ole Miss, Chad Kelly could be your guy. Corral could be your guy. Either one of those.
Yeah. It might be Corral.
Nick Marshall.
Yeah, Nick Marshall was
really
well.
Good.
He was always kind of a tweener too.
Yeah, man, no doubt. Over at Georgia, Jake Fromm, Aaron Murray didn't do anything in the pros.
Arkansas, who would Arkansas be? Darren McFadden.
I mean,
Ryan Mallett. Yeah, Darren McFadden had a decent career.
A decent pro career.
Matt Jones. They moved him to wide receiver.
That's a good choice. Heath Schuler at Tennessee. Great college quarterback. Never did anything in the pros. So, yeah, there's a guy like that for everybody.
Mississippi State. Who's Mississippi State's
quarterback?
Well, is it quarterback or anybody?
Well, if it's anybody, like you think about State's running backs, none of them really. Like J.J. Johnson would be the first one I would say.
JJ
could have been
Anthony Dixon. Anthony Dixon didn't get to do much.
He played what, almost 7-8 years in the NFL, but never really did anything. Norwood didn't really do anything in the NFL.
So. He played for the Falcons. I think he got hurt. He was actually doing well. I think he might have got hurt or something.
There you go. All right, we'll do a couple more here before we go to the break. Dylan Newell, I bought a polyester interlocking MSU polo from College Corner this weekend. Will the cotton farmers come for me? Well, I just be on the lookout.
Yeah, they are out there.
Yeah.
They're fierce and they are very loyal to the cotton industry. I promise you that.
Yeah.
These people will want to fight you over cotton.
Since Rob Hadaway has 3 questions in a row, we'll do those after the break, and we'll do this one from Dear Old State. If the SEC ever instituted an unequal revenue sharing model based on on-field performance and brand recognition, do you think Mississippi State would contemplate leaving the league? No, because
they're going to be happy with where they're at.
Just be happy where they were, because honestly, who's gonna want them?
You got your seat at the table. You can't leave.
Yeah. The ACC or the Big 12 isn't just dying to add Mississippi State. So yeah, you just sit here, and if your check drops from $60 million to $30 million, it just dropped.
Yeah, it's still better than most everybody else.
Exactly. So, all right, let's move into the rest of the show. That's brought to you by our friends over at Two Brothers Smoked Meats in the heart of the Cotton District and the Older Brother, 2 of the best restaurants in Starkville, right there. I challenged Richard Cross to throw a football from the patio of Two Brothers over to the Older Brother, but he didn't do it. He said he could do it, but he didn't do it. That's all I'm saying. He said he could do it, but he didn't actually do it. There's a lot of talk. So What isn't talk is the food at Two Brothers and the Older Brother. It's some of the best in town. As always, when people are saying, hey, Dad, I'm coming to Starkville, where should I go eat? Two Brothers and the Older Brother are always on top of the list. I've enjoyed telling people about the Older Brother now because they're always like, hey, where should I go? And I always ask, hey, have you been to the Older Brother yet? No, I haven't. Let me go check that out. And every time they come back, they're like, man, that was a great choice. Good stuff there. So we're not steering you wrong. Enjoy it. Two Brothers, Smoked Meats, and the Older Brother. Great products, great service. Every business likes to promise it to you. They deliver it to you at Advantage Business Systems. That's what they've been doing for 50 years.
Brian's been ignoring me for 50 years.
I haven't known you for 50 years. I'm not even
Well,
50 years old.
exactly. You've been ignoring me that long.
I'm just saying. I did ignore you for like the first 27 or 28 years of your life because I didn't know who you were.
You did.
So,
You did do that.
but since then,
I'll forgive you.
I appreciate that. Well, you don't have to worry about being ignored at Advantage Business Systems. If you're one of their customers, you know that they're giving you top-notch service after the sale each and every time, each and every product that you purchase from them. So if you haven't already, if you are a business owner and you need a new copier, a new printer, new computers, you need to call Advantage Business Systems, 601-362-9192, or visit them online, absms.com. Find out how Advantage Business Systems will help your business do business. We were just talking about some Mississippi State gear, interlocking MSU polos, interlocking T-shirts and hats. If you're looking for them, especially those hats, I know those are the fire thing right now. Maroon & Company has the biggest and best selection you're ever going to find. They have an unbelievable selection of headwear, but it's also everything else maroon and white. Stuff for your car, your tailgate, your home. Whatever it is you need to let people know you're a Bulldog, they've got it at Maroon & Company. And they have our promo code, so you can save a little bit of money. Thunder 15 takes 15% off regular price. Some exclusions do apply. Before you go to the games here in Starkville, you need to go to Maroon & Co. It's hot outside. You're mowing the grass. You're thinking, man, I wish this was a little bit easier. I can make it easier for you with a trip to Scruggs Farm, Lawn, and Garden. Get yourself some John Deere power. A new John Deere compact mower, tractor, or Gator is just what your property needs to look its best. Whatever you're doing this weekend, if you got repair projects, if you've got stuff out in the lawn, if you got stuff in the garden, if you're just cooking out, if you just want to get out on the water, everything you need to have a great weekend, it starts at Scruggs. Scruggs Farm, Lawn, and Garden in Saltillo. They have what you want for less. All right, Rob Hadaway's questions. Here we go. What does extra virgin olive oil mean? Is it possible to be more virgin than virgin? I can make
Well, we always like blurred the lines.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, and we talked about, and
More
that stuff. Like, well, and I'm not that. I haven't done that, but yeah.
Right.
So, like, yeah, there you can be an extra.
I was going to make a comment about Mary, the mother of God, being more virgin than virgin, but regardless of that,
we've already had our Catholic discussion.
We have. One of my favorite memes going around is, it's one of those like, waiter, and would you like some olive oil on your salad? Is it extra virgin? No, it's free. That makes me laugh. I have no idea why there's a difference between olive oil and extra virgin olive oil. I don't know.
I don't know the difference between that at all. We will send that to some other expert out there that has the idea. Maybe a psychiatrist can tell us.
Exactly. Rob Hadaway, Michigan will suffer no loss of wins as a result of the Connor Stallion spying scandal. So why is Mississippi State still recognizing 19 forfeits that happened nearly 50 years ago on a case that was sketchy at best? Great question. I think Mississippi State should immediately release a statement saying, look, we're not going to claim any national championships, but we are going to claim these games we actually won on the field.
I think they are doing that now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think they've kind of done away with the whole and they should. You won or lost games on the field like that you don't go back just because you paid somebody $100 with $100 handshake and the NCAA slapped you on the wrist and said, take those wins away. You won the games on the field. So I've never understood the whole forfeiting games thing because the other team doesn't get those wins.
Right.
So the game just didn't happen.
No. I think with forfeits, the other team does get the win. It's when you vacate wins. There's a difference. Vacated wins, they don't get the win.
And vacated wins are stupid.
I agree. I agree with you.
So now, so 19 was when they had to vacate the wins, right?
State vacated wins in 2019. Correct.
Okay,
Ole Miss
they
did
have
the same.
rectified that.
Yeah,
In the
Ole
record
Miss.
book now, it says Mississippi State was 6-7.
Yeah,
And
Ole
let's go
Miss was
back.
the
What was
same
the
way.
other one?
Ole Miss had to vacate wins in 2014. Remember? But
Yeah.
I don't know if they claim those or not. But yeah, but forfeits and vacates are different. But I agree.
What was the other one? Was it Emory Bellard?
It's the ones he's talking about. It's Bob Tyler. It's like 75
Bob Tyler.
to 77.
Yeah, those well, it does have in parentheses forfeit.
Yeah.
And so the adjusted record just says 2-9, but the record at the top says 6-4. So I don't know if they've. I don't know. We'll have to ask Brandon Langlois about that. I would say screw the NCAA.
I agree.
We're going to. This is what our record is.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hey, we had a little technical difficulty there, and it cut out on Robbie White when he was saying something. Go ahead with what you were saying there, Rob.
I was just going to say they specify on the record book now. They have two different records. They have states on the field record, which is now above 500, and then the adjusted record. So with the forfeits or whatever,
Yeah,
or vacated wins, they are 588 and 619 and 40, and then with the regular record, they are 612, 602 and 40. I would say screw the forfeits and the vacated wins. The NCAA, what are they going to do about it? And I would just list the overall record. A lot of other schools do that. There's a lot of schools that don't
I agree.
recognize forfeits.
I agree with you 100%. 100%. That's how they
I don't understand it.
Yeah. All right. Last one from Rob. As much as the interlocking MSU helmets are associated with the good times under Jackie, should the white interlocking MSU helmets be associated with the collapse? Since the only games won wearing them were pre 9/11. Yeah. So State is 2-0 pre 9/11 in white helmets in the Independence Bowl, and they wore them that week one game against Memphis that they won. After that, kind of fell apart. I like the interlocking, and I like the all white they're going to do for the Snow Bowl. That's fine. I am not a huge fan of those white helmets. I never have been a big fan of white Mississippi State helmets under any circumstances.
I'm not either. But if they're going to wear them, the best looking helmet is the interlocking one. Also, Rob noted white helmet hater.
Oh,
so
you and I are on the same page with that one. Yeah, it's 100%.
We are hearing from someone who is a little bit biased towards the maroon helmets.
Ricky Felder, do you think there will come a time when college athlete transfers are handled like transfers between European soccer clubs, where the receiving university must meet the player's terms and pay the former university a transfer fee based on the player's valuation? So I don't know if you're aware of how this works, Robbie. In soccer, though, they aren't trades, right? It's not like I'm going to trade my striker for this guy's center back, and that's how you just pay for players. You buy the players. So if, for example, Chelsea paid for a striker from Brighton named Yao Pedro, and they don't trade for him, they just gave $60+ million to Brighton, and then they come to a contract with Yao Pedro, right? So that's what he's saying. He's like, could it be a situation where let's just say for some reason this year, we'll play the state fans' nightmare scenario out here, that Shaping gets hurt. They go to Camario Taylor. He's awesome. Alabama comes in and like, we'll give you $50 million, which isn't a real number. We'll just make it more realistic. We'll give you $5 million for Camario Taylor. And then Camario Taylor says, yeah, I'll go to Alabama. They have to give me a 3-year deal where I make $1.5 million a year, right? Whatever. Could that ever happen?
Something like it, I think. I think that eventually you will have contracts.
There's going to be buyouts. I think there's going to be buyouts.
There will. They're going to have contracts, and you're going to have to pay the buyouts of the contracts just like you would with a coach. And at that point, there's going to have to be employees, which do universities. I think the big hang up with this is like universities.
They don't want to do that.
They don't want to have to get 401ks or benefits, and insurance.
all that other stuff. Yeah.
That's kind of the hang up. But eventually you will have contracts and teams are going to have to buy out players, pay the extent of the contract, stuff like that.
Yeah. Not a question, but great picture of our guy Kobe here with Jeff Levy. Great picture, Kobe,
Big Co.
the big man. Broken Fairchild, Brian. Now that you're building some fitness, are you thinking about running a 5K or another race? Absolutely not. I do not run for walk or run for pleasure. I do it because I have to do it so I can stay alive. I
The
do
people
not.
that do are built different.
I do not want to spend my Saturday morning getting up and going for a run for the hell of it. Absolutely not. Never. Yeah, I agree. They're
I
built
agree.
different. I'm not built that way. So,
We're
uh,
built different too. Just
yes, yeah, but that kind of a different kind of different. I
yeah.
recently watched Cody Rhodes on Hot Ones and thoroughly enjoyed his insight into the business. What are some interviews of wrestlers that you would recommend for somebody who doesn't follow wrestling as closely as y'all do? First off, that's a really good interview, the Hot Ones with Cody Rhodes. I thought it was really good. Um, he's a wrestling podcaster, but Chris Van Vliet's interviews are outstanding. He's a really, really good interviewer. I would watch his one with The Undertaker for sure. Um, and just if you just kind of look through it, I think the one he did one recently that I was enthralled with. Oh, he did one with Steve Blackman that I thought was really good.
The Lethal Weapon.
It was really good, I thought. So that's one. Um,
I heard a good one. Chris Jericho last year, I think, did one with Joe Hendry,
yes,
and just hearing Joe Hendry's like thought processes,
yes.
like how why he does what he does.
Jericho's podcast when he has wrestlers on is really good. Van Vliet had a good one with Christopher Daniels, and that's a guy who works behind the scenes now. So
Hmm.
that's a definitely a good one to check out. Richard Deitch from The Athletic, who does a sports media guy, he's had Paul Heyman on his podcast a number of times. Anything you can listen to with Paul Heyman, I would absolutely suggest you do it. That's
Jim Cornette is very polarizing, but
but
he is fun to listen to.
you'll learn a lot about wrestling if you do that. So those are some
Yeah.
good ones. Well, that's a good starter pack for you. Another one from Steve Keaton. Do you think we see the return of Jet Levy this season? I hope we see a little more jet sweep. I think that's a good play. State's got play with with Brennan Thompson with his speed. I'd like to see him get the ball out there and coming around the end.
And Anthony Evans,
Anthony
and
Evans the same, yeah,
when Seth Davis gets closer to 100%, he would be a good option there.
yeah.
I never understood this like claim from Oklahoma. They acted like that offense ran the jet sweep all the time, and I don't think that was the case. I could be wrong, but I don't remember Oklahoma running jet sweep all the time. And we certainly
No,
didn't see it a lot last year with Mississippi State, so
no,
I didn't really understand that.
I didn't either.
But
Oh well,
they were happy that they hired Seth Luttrell and their offense went from top 10 to one of the worst in the country. So
yeah. Andy Losick asks us, "What are your thoughts on Your Love by the Outfield as a fourth quarter song? Jake Mangum could ever even appear on the big screen to kick it off. I think that's a baseball song.
yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, Jake
I mean, I
Mangum,
like the song. I just don't like making it
and I
into
like Jake
football.
Mangum, but this is Mississippi State football, so no, I wouldn't be in favor of that. What if State posted fourth quarter sing along song options during the jumbotron during halftime, and fans could vote throughout the third quarter on their phones? No, the whole point of the fourth quarter song is it's tradition. It's something it's coming. You're looking forward to it.
That's only going to create more confusion. Just
Yeah,
get something and stick with
stick
it.
with it exactly. Uh,
You skipped John Clark
oh, I'm
Packer.
sorry. Yeah, I sure did. I'm having computer issues. I told our guy Houston, I was like, I need a new desktop. This thing is just not. It's just not working for whatever reason here.
We
Anyway,
need a lot of things. I have a list of demands too.
yeah. Here we go. Rank these 90s bands. Sister Hazel, Better Than Ezra, Third Eye Blind, Matchbox 20, Goo Goo Dolls.
Excellent list.
All right. So
Matchbox 20 is number one for
they
me.
got to be number one. They had the most hits. My favorite in this group is Better Than Ezra. I just want to point that out. But if I'm ranking them in terms of their impact on music, Matchbox 20, Third Eye Blind, Goo Goo Dolls, Better Than Ezra, Sister Hazel is how I would go.
I think I can get on board with that. I
Okay.
love all of them.
Okay.
Anytime any of these songs from these bands come on, it just makes my day better.
There you go.
Even the ones from Third Eye Blind where they're talking about,
Jumping off
drug
the building. Yeah.
overdoses and suicide and things, like they still sound happy. That's just
Yeah.
90s music in general.
All right. Also from John Clark Packer, rank these backup Mississippi State quarterbacks: Mike Pazinski, Ty Evans, Trey Rutland, Aries Nelson, Nick Tiano. Pazinski's got to be number one. The Polish rifle. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
the Polish rifle is a little before my time, but he is one that gets
He's got a
talked about
story. They
more
still
than
talk about him. Yeah.
any of these people.
I would think he's one. Trey Rutland actually got to play. So I'm going to go him 2. I'm going to go Aries Nelson 3, Tiano 4, Ty Evans. God bless you if you're listening to this, Ty Evans. But the one pass I saw you throw, I was like, how did this guy sign a SEC football scholarship? Like, it was not pretty. So I'm sorry if you're listening, Ty. No offense.
Where's Kyle York at? Our friend Kyle York.
Kyle
I know
York
he
would be
started,
number 1.
but
Kyle York would be number 1 if he was on this list. No,
he would.
He won games. So,
but also he actually started.
he
So I
started.
don't know if that probably doesn't count.
All right. Cole Gurnat asks, how much impact do you think the players have on the football logo debate? If the players preferred script state, is that enough to stop the change? I think if the players were all like, hey, we don't want to change, that might have some impact. But at the same time, I don't think I don't think they care. And B, it's really about what your fans want because they're the ones buying the merchandise.
I did see a lot of them commenting and retweeting the tweet. So who knows?
Yeah. Patton Paris, Gene Morgan getting hit. Okay, while it's understood that Cam Newton coming to state and Gene Morgan getting hit are the 2 biggest what-ifs in athletic history, please rate these what-ifs. Monte Ellis comes to school. Ndamukong Suh follows his sister to state. Roy Oswalt comes to state. Tyson Lee hands off the ball against Anthony Dixon. I think so what year is Roy Oswalt drafted? That's what
was it like 95, 96?
He was drafted in the 23rd round of the 1996 draft.
Okay.
He's on the 97 and 98 College World Series. So you're telling me in 97?
Oh, yeah. They would have won. They would have had a chance to win the national championship.
97, my front end rotation is Eric Dubose and Roy Oswalt. I'm winning an
So that's right around the time the 95 class, I think, was number 1 in the country.
Right. Yeah. That's
So
Brad Freeman, Adam Pyatt, Richard Lee, Rob Oswald.
Eric Dubose was in that class.
Eric Dubose was in that class.
That team
They
would have had a very good shot of winning the national title.
So we'll say that's number 1. I'm going to say Dixon handing the ball off against or Tyson Lee handing the ball off. That means State wins the 6th game. They go to a
bowl game.
It's a little, yeah. I'm going to put that at number 2. Monte Ellis, if he comes to school, he's only there a year.
And that team was not good.
What
he would have made them much better. That was Jamont Gordon, the Delt twins, I think, was in that class.
He was drafted in the 2005 draft. So he would have played in the 05-06 season. Yeah, that was the year after. That's the year after Lawrence Roberts and Shane Power and all them are gone. So
that was that rebuilding year that they had.
They would have been better, but they would have been like an NIT team. So that's probably
like they were having to start. Like Michael Bowler was playing a lot.
Yeah.
Peter Stelmach. He just wouldn't have had very many pieces around him.
That's probably 3rd.
No offense to Michael Bowler and Peter Stelmach, but
Ndamukong Suh coming to state. I mean, they still would have been terrible. Those teams would not. He would have been really good, but those teams would still have been bad because they weren't any good.
It just would have been another feather in their cap with the defensive line.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. Next question comes to us from Mike Rushing. If the SEC had a similar classification system as the Mississippi High School Athletic Association, what would the teams be classified? I'd say State would be 2 or 3A and Texas would be 7A. I disagree with this entirely. There are 7A teams that don't compete with Tupelo. I mean, like Greenville is a 7A team, right?
Are they 7, 6 or 7?
But I mean,
Murrah is a better example.
7A team, yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's what State. If you're in the SEC, you're 7A. The
Southern Miss would be like a 3A,
4A. Then you get like your FCS teams. Those are your 1A and 2A schools. So yeah, that's how you have to look at that.
Yeah, because this is like a district. The SEC is like a district,
exactly.
a region.
Exactly. All right, working for the weekend. When greeting someone as you're walking past them, if they ask you how you are doing, are you obliged to also ask them how they are doing, even though you've already passed them? So you and I are going like this, right?
Yep.
I get to you and I'm going like, "Hey, how's it going?" I keep walking, and you say, "Fine." Do you have to turn around and be like, "How are you?" I think you are not obliged. Once they get
Well,
past you, you don't have to talk to them anymore. You just be like, "Hey,
how are you doing is hello.
yeah,
It's a greeting.
what's up?"
They don't actually like when we say how you doing, like a lot of times I'm not actually asking you how are you doing. It's just a hey, what's up?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
hello.
Yeah.
And so but I do feel awkward if I tell them how I'm doing and I don't ask them how
If
they're
you
doing.
keep going though, you don't. If they keep going, you're not obliged. I say.
But I will, I'll turn back around and let them
Good.
see that I'm
Yeah, yeah.
looking at them and I'm
So
trying to engage in
it's not an
conversation even though I'm
obligation,
walking
in my
on.
opinion. I think that's just your choice. So
Yeah, no, it's just my
I saw
choice. It's just
a comedian talking about like the difference between old people and young people is like if with young people, I'm like if I say, "Hey, what's up?" How do you respond to that?
nothing much.
All right, now ask me.
Or hey, how you doing?
All right, ask me.
Hey, what's up?
All right, now.
All right
All
now.
right, now. That's an old guy thing.
Well, I'd say that first.
Yeah. All right, now.
Hey, all right now.
There you go. Yeah.
But I don't. If somebody says, "Hey, how you doing?" I don't say, "All right now."
All right, I got you.
We
Uh,
have a very weird society in
we do.
some senses.
Working for the weekend. It's
But
state
how would you feel about the societies though, where men walk up to other men and kiss them?
like the
On
Italians.
Italians do that.
It'd be uncomfortable.
They do that in a lot of other cultures. They'll hold hands in other
It'd
cultures.
be uncomfortable to me. And like
Like,
it's their culture. They do what they want. That's fine. For me, it would be uncomfortable.
isn't that like interesting though? Like
Yeah.
how different cultures are around the world.
I mean,
Like you have
I gotta be
like
honest with you.
for Americans, like just walking up to another man and your greeting is kiss him on the cheek or on the
Yeah, that's
lips.
weird to me, but that is something people do.
That would end a lot of
I mean, we live in
friendships.
a world where you got people worshiping different gods. So I mean, it's not that
Yeah, that's true.
surprising that the way we would greet people would be different too. So also from working for the weekend, much simpler question. If State beats Arizona State, do they go to a bowl this season? I say yes.
I think so too. If you're at that point, you're assuming Mississippi State beats Southern Miss, so
Yeah,
that goes to our conversation we keep having about those first two games. If they win those first two, they are on the track.
yeah, I agree.
Because you're assuming you win the next two. It would be hard to believe they don't. You're 4-0, and now you're trying to make up two more wins at that point. And with a team that has confidence, you feel like you can get it.
I agree. I agree with you on that one. Joby Miller, so Aislinn asked me, was it Aislinn or Emily? It was Aislinn, I think, asked me this question. So apparently it's going around. Would you rather have to hold a congrats on heaven sign at a funeral or go to a spelling bee and heckle every kid who gets a word wrong? You don't know anyone at either event. I'm definitely going the spelling bee.
Really, I might go. I might go with the sign. It's
Funerals are too emotional. Somebody will
they are, but I think it's like, oh, that was sweet. He's saying he's in heaven. Now, if I'm going to the spelling bee and I'm yelling, "You nerd," you're a really bad person if you do that stuff. So, I mean, at least the congrats on heaven is a positive thing.
Yeah. So if it was the other way around, it was like, if you had to hold up a sign that see you in hell, you wouldn't do that.
That would be
That would be
that's
too much.
probably what they need to put right here.
Yeah, that's too much. All right, guys.
Congrats on heaven probably
Yeah.
doesn't apply as much as that would.
Yeah. Cameron Worm,
Big word.
what are your thoughts on expanding the college football playoff? Will it ever end? This thing that came out this weekend is pure lunacy. 28 teams, 7 auto bids for the Big Ten. Shut up.
The Big Ten needs to just stop.
Yeah, like it's just ridiculous. Also, why do we as fans get more optimistic the closer we get to the start of the season? Well, it's the same thing with like Christmas, right? Even if you're a kid who's not great, by the time we get to Christmas Eve, you think Santa's coming. You're like,
It's just
I did
excitement.
okay. I'll be all right. It's just the excitement. Yeah.
The realization that the season's beginning
Yeah.
and it's a new year and you
Anything
start
could
to think
happen.
about, you see everybody else getting excited, so you get excited.
Mhm. The Saw Man asks us, I've heard you identify surefire Ole Miss names. What would you consider to be a definite Mississippi State name?
Hunter,
Hunter is, yeah, yeah. That's Hunter and Tanners are good Mississippi State.
Logan's.
Like Logan's is a good one. I'll give you a football player who I think has a really Mississippi State name was Vic Ballard.
Yeah, that's
Vic
up
Ballard
there.
is a very Mississippi State name to me for whatever reason.
Yep.
Wayne Madkin. It's a very it just sounds like salt on
Wayne.
Wayne.
Wayne is definitely a
Wayne
Mississippi
is a
State
good
name.
Mississippi State name. I'm a night shift worker, and I'm probably one of the first few people to listen to the next day's podcast as soon as it's posted. With that in mind, does that mean I get future Brian and future Robbie on the podcast? It's a good point because in that podcast we say like, thanks for joining us on a Wednesday, but if you're listening on a Tuesday night, technically, you've entered some sort of weird wormhole. There's some Inception stuff going on there where you're technically in the future. Yes, I agree.
Why do people misspell my name when it's featured on like
Well,
right in front of their face so often?
What's also funny about that is that the way you spell it is, in my opinion, the more common way.
When I look at
Like the Robbies that
ROBBY,
I've
it
known are
looks
always
weird.
IE. The only Robbie I know with a Y is Robbie Donahoe.
Yeah.
He's the only one I know. So I don't know why they
I
did.
just don't. I know he didn't mean anything by this, but a lot of people misspell my name on purpose, like as a shot, and I'm like, what? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I
Like
don't.
that's supposed to like be like a dig at me. I
I
don't
don't
get
know.
it.
I don't think this is a dig though. So
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that he was doing this, but I also don't understand how like you see my Twitter account, you actually tag me in the account with my name spelled correctly, and you still spelled it incorrectly. I don't understand that.
here we are here. Alex Douglas, what would be a random rule you would add to football? Mine is if you finish the first half with all three of your timeouts, you get to roll them over in the second half, but you have to have all three. If that had been the case, Dan Mullen would have had six timeouts every game. Every game he coached, he would have had six
That's like
timeouts.
the opposite of the basketball rule, because in
Yeah.
the basketball rule you have to use your timeouts
Yes. Yeah.
or you lose them in the second half.
The easy choice for me, and we've talked about it many times before, is yellow card, red card for targeting and personal fouls.
We distinguish
Yeah, like
whether or not
if
it's
if it was there was
egregious
intent,
enough.
exactly. That's the
Yeah.
easiest one I would pick. So, got anything else that stands out to you?
Uh,
Oh, I would
I don't
change the
know.
overtime rules back.
Yeah, the overtime rules need to go back to where they
I don't
were.
want.
We're
I don't.
still playing. We're
Yeah,
still like a lot of these overtimes are still going long.
yeah. Caleb Ross, what is the best place to eat and watch college football after the Southern Miss game? If you can get over to Crescent City, they've got some TVs up in there in the bar area. I would definitely pick that. The Keg and Barrel is a good place in Hattiesburg. They got two.
Keg and Barrel is probably the answer.
Probably the correct answer there. Yeah.
It's a bar, but they have this giant big screen,
Yeah.
like courtyard area where you can watch everything.
Yeah.
That's probably the place to do it. But the best food is
Crescent City.
anything Robert St. John's.
Yeah. Agree.
If you can find a seat.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I mean,
which might be an issue for me on August 30th after the game.
Caleb Ross, what is something you didn't expect to be doing before you got married? My wife is a Disney fanatic, and she has been to Disney World almost 40 times. Before
Oh my God.
I had been once. After marriage, my number is around 15. First off, I'm sorry, dude. That's rough.
His profile picture is him at Disney World at Epcot.
Is it really?
Yes.
Something that I didn't expect. I expected to be happy. I just wanted to see what you would do.
The sad thing is, like, I think you're being truthful about that.
Maybe.
You said it so many times.
I never expected to own 4 cats.
Were you a cat guy growing up?
I never had a pet. I never had a pet until Jennifer and I got together.
You grew into a cat man.
Well, she and I she had a dog when we first met. And then we got a cat after about 3 years together. And then we've just had cats ever since.
Yeah.
I'm a catsman.
What is something you didn't expect to be doing? I don't know. I don't know what my expectations were. I thought we would have three kids. We're capping out at two. I think that's a decent number. I always was gonna do the dishes and laundry and stuff like that. So that's not a real big surprise. Um I'm just kind of going with the flow.
All right.
I don't feel disappointed or pleasantly surprised or whatever. I'm just kind of like, whatever happens, happens.
All right. Matt McCann back with the mascot challenge. Smaller colleges again. Here we go. San Francisco.
Uh-oh. The Dons,
That's right.
home of Bill Russell, isn't it?
That's right. Kennesaw State.
Owls.
That's right. Kent State.
The Flashes.
The Golden Flashes.
Golden Flashes.
Yeah. Dartmouth.
This one I don't know.
They're the Big Green.
The Big Green.
Mhm.
Like the Disney movie, The Big Green.
There's a Disney movie called The Big Green.
Yeah, it's a soccer movie.
I've never heard of this movie.
It's got the kid
Oh, I
from
see.
Sandlot.
It does
in
have the kid from Sandlot. He's taking one right in the beans on the cover here.
So this was a movie that my grandmother and
It's got
granddad
Steve
had.
Gutenberg
And
as
Steve
Sheriff
Gutenberg is
Tom
the soccer
Palmer.
coach.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a fine movie for kids.
Okay. And last one is Southern Arkansas.
No clue. Matt has me stumped on a couple of these.
The Mule Riders.
Oh, that's
great.
excellent.
I need a shirt for that one. That's a great name. All right. Cody asks us, which group will have a more direct impact on the outcome of games this season, offensive or defensive line? What are your thoughts?
Defensive line. I think there's some things they can do with the offense to kind of manipulate if they have any issues up front.
All right.
Defensive line, I think you're going to know one way or the other, like in a big way. Like if they are much better this year, I think
Yeah.
the defense will be much better. If they're like below adequate or bad, you will know.
Yeah.
So to me, it's the defensive line.
See, for me, it's the other side. It's the offensive line because everything we've kind of predicated our season predictions on and the idea that State can be better. To me, it starts with the idea that defensively, they're still going to struggle a bit, but they'll be good offensively. If that offensive line doesn't come together, I think they're going to be in real trouble. So I say offensive line.
But I think you go back to the root of Mississippi State's issues last
I agree.
year, and the offensive line was not good last year. They got better, but I don't think we ever just sat there and said the offense is a real problem for Mississippi State. We did say at times like they're not helping them out, but the defensive line was always the problem.
No,
and I think that's still going to be the case. If they're not good this year, then your entire team's going to suffer for it.
All right. We've been going like an hour and 20 here, so we're gonna stick a few more questions here.
Oh come on! What do you have to do?
I have to pre-record Thunder and Lightning for tomorrow.
So you can make it. Stop
I got
complaining.
stuff to do.
Stop complaining.
Who's complaining?
You.
Adam Carthanen asks, what match would have been better, Hogan versus Stone Cold or Undertaker versus Sting? So are we talking about like Hogan versus Stone Cold, like at the peak of the NWO and the peak of the Attitude Era?
They both need to be at the peak.
Like 97?
It needs to be Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus Stone Cold during
Like
the
97, 98?
98.
Okay. And then Sting, Undertaker, that can go a little further down the road. That can be like 2008, 2009, right?
Yeah, but that needs to be we're talking about peak stuff. So that needs to be Sting, Crow Sting versus The Undertaker. Maybe not. It needs to be the same time period, I guess. But I'm going to go the Crow Sting.
So I'm thinking this though, like remember when it would have been Triple H versus The Undertaker, the one that Triple H nearly won, and like then the next year was Hell in the Cell, right? When Triple H came back to challenge The Undertaker, there was a lot of talk that it was going to be Sting. I think at that time, I think Sting Undertaker would be a better wrestling match at almost any point in their career than Hogan Austin, because you've got Sting and The Undertaker are better wrestlers than Hogan is.
Now, well, it's never about like
now in terms of the spectacle. In terms of like the headline, Hollywood Hulk Hogan comes back to the WWF as the WCW World Champion to challenge Stone Cold Steve Austin. Much bigger spectacle.
Not the Hulk Hogan that when he came back
No,
in
we're talking
2001,
1997,
2002, whatever it was.
peak NWO bad guy prior to
Yeah,
Starrcade 9. Yes. Yeah.
that would probably be the better, but the better match would be Taker versus Sting. It'd be
Right.
like teardrop tattoo Taker versus
Yeah.
Sting, Crow Sting.
Yes. Yes.
That would be an incredible match.
Yeah, I agree. Brick Thomas just moved back into college and have the dreaded 8 a.m.s. What were the most annoying parts of college for you? Yeah, it was definitely getting up early.
Anything in class
Yeah.
was annoying.
College is what you're saying. College.
No, there was aspects of college that didn't have anything to do with the university.
I got you. Bought an interlocking MSU white polo during the 2023 Arnett catastrophe. It is also 3-0 when worn to games. What is the next move? Wow. That's
You
pretty
have to
good.
test it out. You have to test it out against
Where-
Southern Miss.
Where did Southern Miss? Where did Southern
Yep.
Miss? Let's see if we keep that going. Ian Ladner, outside of wins, what offensive and defensive stat will tell you if Levy is moving in the right direction? Yards per carry and sacks.
Defensive sacks.
Defensive sacks, yes.
I can get on board with that.
Yeah. Both Oklahoma and Florida are favored on a neutral field right now versus Ole Miss per Josh Pate. Are y'all sleeping on those two teams? No. I understand Josh Pate has an analytic formula that he uses, but in my opinion, it doesn't take into account that Napier and Venables are not good college football coaches.
Yeah, so I think State was like high on that list in 2023.
Yeah, I can't get too deep into that. So maybe we should pay Josh Pate to come on the program and talk about that. Did you get paid to be on that program?
No,
You should have. You should have asked.
I've never been paid to do an interview.
I never
I've
have.
never
I will.
asked for it either.
I never asked, but man, if somebody wants to give me money to show up on their show, I'll be happy.
I don't know. Josh doesn't do that either, does he? You've had him on this show.
We have. I have never. I think the only time people like I think we talked about this last week. Like Ari Wasserman and Andy Staples, they will charge you, but they charge you if you want them on regularly. Like if you're saying, "Hey, will you be on my show every week?" Then they're gonna be like, "We need to work something out." But if you say like, "Hey, once a year, can I talk to you?" I don't think they would have a problem with that.
Yeah.
So, all right, John Bryant Stewart. Which state assistant coach has the best odds to become a head coach in the future? Justin Parker.
Yes.
I know he means football, but there's not one on the football team that I just look at and go, "He's a future."
There's not a single assistant on the football team that I think's headed that direction right now.
Exactly. Also,
But yeah, Justin Parker's easily the answer, and I think he's not far away.
Yeah. John Bryant Stewart. Who's y'all's favorite poster on 3 for entertainment purposes only? Tupelo Todd.
Yes. Tupelo Todd just dropping in and like, I have an urgent announcement.
He brings joy wherever he goes.
The other day when he was like, be weather aware,
Yeah.
and it was the
exactly.
map looked like two giant. Yeah.
Yeah. I have never.
If you don't know,
sad.
then if you don't know, we have a shameless plug. You should come check out the Maroon and White Daily. If you're a man, you probably would enjoy it.
I have never been sad after reading a Tupelo Todd post. I'll put it that way. Let's see here.
Almost never says anything about Mississippi State. It's just
no, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Andy Atkinson, AA. Where would you rank the moment Omos and Microman had during Triple Mania in the history of professional wrestling? I mean, it's funny, but let's be honest. It's not the top 1,000.
It was a moment.
It was fun though.
It was a moment in professional wrestling.
Ford Polk asking about national championships. You can claim whatever you want, guys. And Brett Christensen, last question here. Would it be out of the question to look at this season as a true first year from what we can expect from a Levy-led team? Hearing how much of a true overhaul took place on the roster from the previous regime is unreal. I'm not a big year 0 guy because the games count, right? I mean, his record is 2-10. If that's the way you want to look at it, I understand that. But that same token, of what I would say is, if he's not good in year 1, how many years do you give him, right? If he has another 2-10, 3-9 year, do you go, well, this year 3 is really his first? you keep pushing it down the road. So I just say just bounce back this year and get everybody on your side is how I would look at it.
I have said though, like I think that you could give him a little bit of grace from last year.
Mhm.
This needs to be the year that you expected last year to be. 5 wins, 6 wins. Can you get to that and show the progress from last year? I think people would accept that. I think people would accept 5 and 7.
Yeah, I agree.
It wouldn't be, people wouldn't be jumping for joy. I guess it would depend on who they beat. If Ole Miss is their 5th win, maybe. But I just think that people will look at it and say, okay, we were 2-10 last year. The schedule was actually more brutal this year, and we went 5-7.
Yes,
I like where things are moving. I think that you could say like this is year one for Jeff Lebby if that happens,
agreed.
but it's got to happen that way.
Yes. We'll see if it does. I hope it does. All right. That's all for today. Tomorrow's show, we will have we'll have an opponent preview for you with Arizona State. Plus, we'll continue to talk some Mississippi State football as we get closer and closer to the start of the college football season. Talk to you guys tomorrow. For Robbie Falk, I'm Brian Haydad. Thanks for listening to Thunder and Lightning here on Super Talk, Mississippi.